Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, February 18th, 2023. And again, before I get into the main part of this video, I would like to remind you that tomorrow's the third Sunday of the month, and we'll be having a live stream meditation. You can find information in the About column for this channel. As always, the start time is 10 a.m. for Alaska, 11 for Central, 12 for Mountain, 1 for Central, 2 for Eastern, and across the Atlantic in London, it will be 7 p.m. So you can convert that to your time and join us, please. Our main focus, although any positive intention is ultimately welcome, is going to be on laughter and joy. Two very powerful tools in our toolbox in navigating through these complicated times and fighting evil. Okay, now for the topic of this video, I don't think anybody gets to be my age without encountering and having to deal with narcissists to some degree. I've had dealings with them, and there are a couple of strategies that work well with narcissists, and one of those is called going gray rock. And another one is just to be aware that you cannot change a narcissist, but sometimes you can change their actions. And this works actually with anybody by changing how you react. That's what you can control, is your reaction, which is part of the going gray rock. Okay. Now I bring that up to you, not because I care about mental health, which I do. Very much so. Okay. I mean, I want us all to get through these complicated times with the best mental health possible so that we can enjoy what's coming as far as suppressed technologies coming out and things like that. But as you know, sometimes I appear to be adding 1 and 1 and getting 2 in my videos. And actually my intent is to add 1 and 4 and get 5. This is one of those occasions. So hang with me and it'll all become clear, okay? Earlier this week, I saw a fabulous short video that I think originally came out on, I don't know if I can say the site, I'll show you where it is. It's well worth your time. This lady mentions tracking political shenanigans in the deep state for over 15 years. And then she compares some of what she's currently seeing in our world as far as, you know, the dooming and the calamities and everything else, as she compares those to the narcissist personality type. It really coordinates very well, very well. And it may be a way to kind of view the deep state shenanigans. Let me show you what I'm talking about, just a second. As always, I will have a link to this Facebook compilation in the description box for this video. Okay, so here was our lady. Here's where this showed up at, but I have it over here in the second comment. You can click on it and view it for yourself if you'd like to. Okay, and then also here is an article about the gray rock method. Okay, which kind of describes it in more detail than I just did. And then the last thing here that'll be in this compilation is just a very good quote that serves for both dealing with the narcissist personality type and deep state shenanigans, or even the truth of community. I don't trust words. I even question actions, but I never doubt patterns. And part of what she's doing here is pointing out some patterns of behavior that are happening with the deep state. I thought it was fascinating. I wanted to share it with you. Now, here's where we go 1 + 4 makes 5, not 1 + 1 makes 2. We hear over and over again that every consideration is being made by the White Hats, the Alliance, our benevolent off-world help, all of them, to wake as many people up as possible. I have a hypothesis I'd like to ask the cards about. In a way of survival mechanism, people stumbled on the gray rock. In other words, showing no reaction, no matter how extreme the sentiment being expressed is, or how personal the attack feels, and how that is one defense mechanism that narcissists cannot battle if you do it successfully. There's no comeback for it or anything else. The gray rock survival strategy. I would like to ask the cards, is it possible that while we've supposedly been waiting for more people to wake up, is it possible that actually they are, and incorporating the gray rock strategy into just their survival until we get to the other side of all of this shenanigans and the war and everything else? Okay. Is it possible that that hasn't been a consideration but should have been on the part of the White Hats in the Alliance? Because if they are judging by conversation, by chatter online, by monitoring phone calls to kind of get their idea of what the percentages of people who are awake, and they don't have a way of telepathically doing that, then they may be missing, I think, a large number of people that really have woken up, maybe aren't feeling comfortable talking about it, and are just going gray rock until things make a public shift and change. And I thought it would be a fascinating thing to ask the cards about. So let me phrase this carefully. I want to ask the universe, are more people awake and simply going gray rock until there's obvious and overt change up? And has that been an underestimated percentage of the population on the part of the White Hats in the Alliance? So have they been overlooking something? And should they be factoring that in as they make their adjustments on the timetables and the rollout of really good changes that are so needed, so needed? Let's see what the cards have to say. Just a second. Okay, universe, are more people actually awake and have simply gone gray rock, so it's not even showing up in their email communications, phone conversations, and things like that? And has that been an underestimated factor on the part of the White Hats and Alliance? And further insights about this topic would be appreciated. Our first card is the Seven of Wands, the Sun, Three of Wands, Four of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Four of Wands. Okay, I'll tell you what the cards are telling me, and then I will share with you what elements of the cards led me to this conclusion. So I just wondered if there are actually more people awake and just simply aren't talking about it, even in a trackable way. And in other words, going gray rock until there's more overt and public changes. And I'm not getting a hard yes at this point, but I'm definitely getting a nod to the fact that this is the Sun card showing up in relation to this question. So here's the situation, okay? We have this is kind of what I call my high ground card, determination card, okay? So yes, the White Hats and the Alliance are determined to have as little collateral damage in this war as possible, but understanding that a certain amount of it is unavoidable. Okay, clarifying that and kind of just confirming that we do have some loving oversight going on is the Sun card. And that's a card that also has an indication of innocent lives. So yeah, they are trying to preserve as many innocent lives as possible. Now, we were wondering, could they possibly have overlooked the fact that there's not going to be quite the amount of shock and disbelief that they think, based on monitoring chatter, email, electronics, even conversation, things like that. The people are just kind of mentally, but quietly, gray rock, awake and prepared. We're getting kind of a nod here too on that, because we got the Three of Wands for the recent past, which is looking at the world in a new way. And that indicates that more people are than I think they factored in. Now I'm saying that because look at the present here. We have the Four of Swords, which means it's on the one hand, this can be a hidden blessing, but it's also almost always about some information that's not public. And that's what we were talking about. Are there more people awake than even the white hats in Alliance realize? And I think we're getting a solid yes on that, that it may be as much as 25% more than they think. Now, that doesn't mean 25 on top. Say there's 20% awake right now, and I think we're past that. Let's keep it at 20. So I'm not saying an additional 25%, but 25% of what they factored in as awake. So that would be 5 if we were adding it to 20%. Okay, so let's look at the near future and see what's going on. We got the Queen of Pentacles. She can be kind of introspective. And she is also, though, indicative of generosity, okay, and tranquility. So as we come to an agreement and an alignment between beliefs and events, we know good things are coming. We absolutely know. And I think there may be some readjustment going on the part of the white hats based on this conversation we're having right here tonight in this video. Okay. If so, one of the insights is, I think they're going to be a little sad to think that they may have overlooked a data point that actually has some validity. Okay. But ultimately, here we've got the Four of Wands, which is a purely joyful card. Absolutely joyful. It's usually a card that can indicate, new unions, marriage, love. So if it does need to be factored in, it's going to be factored in. And that may make some slight tweaks to the timeline plans. We have the Eight of Swords. For a little additional information, also the Knight of Pentacles. The Eight of Swords is telling us, even if there's a tweak, we still have some waiting to do, okay? It's not going to happen in any prophesiable way. Even though our Bible has been abbreviated and changed so much, one of the phrases in it that sticks out to me is that no man will know the day or the hour. And I think that is a truth that was allowed to stay in there or by our loving creator. So that's why I don't try to come up with exact dates for people. We can look at events, we can see trends, we can keep each other uplifted. Absolutely. Okay. But so I'm seeing that we may still have some wait. That doesn't mean that tomorrow morning we might not have this huge flash or whatever this event is, and boom, we're there. But it looks like there's still a little waiting involved. However, we've got a beautiful card on the other side of it. The Knight of Pentacles is one of my white hat cards, Alliance, and it's a card that is a very stable, steadying influence. So one of plan and follow through, and a very trustworthy energy absolutely going on here. It's also a security and progress card. So there is progress being made. If it needs to be refactored in, that there's some of us that have gone gray rock, it will be. So let's recap. I watched that short video comparing the deep state shenanigans to a narcissist personality disorder. Having had a little experience dealing with those in real life, it really resonated with me. And then I further got to thinking about how powerful the strategy of going gray rock is with the narcissist, and wondered if it was possible that some people are awake and that's what's going on with them. Now, according to the cards, it looks like that is a really good hypothesis to consider. And it looks like the whiteouts may need to factor that in a little bit, that there may be up to 25% more people awake than they actually give us credit for, who aren't indicating that status in any kind of a trackable way, short of telepathically. However, the universe knows all, sees all, and can comment on the collective. And I think it has here. Ultimately, what it says is if there does need to be a change, it's not going to necessarily be immediate, although it can be. You hear me, guys? It can be. There may still be some waiting involved because we're not in charge of the timing at all. Okay. But ultimately, good things are coming and nothing can stop what is coming. And that's it for this read. So I thank you for helping me go down a rabbit trail and adding 1 + 4 instead of 1 + 1. I get a kick out of that. Like when I showed the John Legend picture the other day, people just assumed I was going to be talking about his island visits, and it was something that it was a 1 + 4 situation. It wasn't. That wasn't the purpose of that read. So yeah, you can follow my little divergent thought rabbit trails with me now and then, I guess. Right. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope I see a great many of you in tomorrow's meditation when we pause to think about things that give us joy and laughter, and share a little bit with one another, and come away hopefully encouraged and positive, and that is the best defense from all the dooming and the daily calamities that the shenanigans are putting out with our world. Okay, it won't change situations, but it might change how we approach them and how we let them affect us. Because remember, we can't change the actions of others except by changing our reactions. It's powerful, very powerful. I speak from experience on that. Okay, and one of the best reactions to evil is to just not buy into the doom and the fear. It's a useless emotion. Okay. And then if you have the resources to greet that doom and fear with some laughter and smiles and just like, oh, really? You want me to be panicked about that? It's so powerful. Let's do it, guys. We've got this one. Let's make it, let's do our part to help it wrap up sooner rather than later. Until next time, I send you love and light and all things bright. Good night.